So you will introduce you. Okay. Okay, so now, just to continue from where we ended. If these rules are followed well, you enjoy the work. Okay? Now, so we have got the borderline as number 1. Number 2 is title block. Then number 3. This is I love this and I want the best because I love what I do. Okay? I want the best. Here, if this is messed up, line work, nobody would enjoy your work. It's like you have arranged to have a date with your sweetheart. Then she comes in safety boots. And you have prepared a nice place, hotel, whatever. Now the safety boots, they even date. And herself, you say, if you come for a date or come to embarrass me, that is what line work is all about. What we want is when you look at the work, it is so attractive. Just like a beautiful woman, when they put on what they do, you look at your wife, you admire your wife as if you are meeting her for the first time. Ne? That is what we want to see the work. Even yourself, when you look at your work, you must admire it. You must admire your work. If you don't admire your work, it means there's something wrong. So line work, when we say line work, if the line is supposed to be dark, it has to be dark. If a line is supposed to be construction, it has to be construction, which is paint lines. Don't just draw because I need to draw. So for example, we have got the construction line. Whatever I'm explaining here, you find also in the software, the same things. Okay? Construction line. This one is I'm using red ink. It's a continuous line. How is this line like? You see, thin. Thin and very faint. They use very light. It's a thin and very faint line. That is how it is my favorite line. Because when I come to your work, before I could even look at the rest, I must say, do you have construction lines? Because they are guiding lines to guide you to say, your work is going this direction. So you must have guiding lines. Don't rely on eraser. Don't be always erasing. No. You must hate the eraser. Okay? Construction lines is the best way to go. Then you need what? Center lines. It's long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. This line is thin and dark. Thin and dark. Not thick and dark, but thin and dark. So wherever you need to put center line, like circles, pipes, cylindrical shapes, arcs, make sure show the way the line should be. Okay? That is why you find the people in the old time, those who are using drawing boards. It is very difficult for them to walk away from the drawing board to use software. Why? Do you know why? It is in the heart. Oh, yeah. They love it. Like when they draw a line, they feel like the whole body is connected. Yes. You understand? That's why I find the software. No.
Does the center line not also represent, show a section line as well?
Yes, you use center line for section line. You use center line for a web. Use center lines for the structural members. Okay. So we use it so much, but it has to be thin and dark. Then we have got outlining line. This one is the continuous line. It is the dark and the slightly thick. Not very thick, slightly thick. See, a bit closer to the borderline, but it's a bit thinner than the borderline. Okay? So line work is critical. Line work, it is like it can cause you to lose marks at every point. Because if your line work is poor, your correctness is poor, is wrong. Even if your drawing is very correct, but your line work is wrong, they will deduct marks. So your line work must be very neat, very correct lines, and the correct thicknesses. Avoid eraser. Okay? I'll add more here. Just take pictures to send to these. Is there any question? Okay, then we have got the dashed line, or you call it hidden detail line. This line looks like it's short, it's dashes. So this is the slight, it's thick, thin, and the dark. Thin and dark. What is it for? It shows any corner or any turn that cannot be seen, but it exists. So it shows, like when you look at this line, shows any turn or any corner that cannot be seen, but it exists. That cannot be seen, but it exists. So for example, when you are looking at a component, or let's say a house, there are some rooms inside the house that you can't see, but they are there. Now in the mechanical, we show them as dashed lines, in structure as dashed lines. In a building, we have got so many views that we do. You do sectional drawings. We don't normally show these dashed lines as such. Okay? So this is to show hidden lines. Lines that are supposed to be there, but cannot be seen when you are looking at the component. They are behind the view. So that's dashed lines. So these are major lines that you'll be dealing with. Other lines are just additional lines. Okay? These are major. So you need to be able to do borderline and the rest, and be able to use the lines correctly. Then on the rules, the last thing is what? Not the last one, there is layout. Neatness. Your work must be very neat. Your work must be very neat. All the time. Your work must be very neat. If your work is not neat, it ceases being attractive. Even the markers will hate your work before you start marking your work. Your work must be very neat, as if it's a printer that was used. When your line work are poor, they also affect neatness. So your work must be very neat. Your work must have good line work. Then you need what? Correctness of your work. How do you have your work correct? We need the correctness of the work. How do we have the work correct? That is where now you are going to learn. The whole course you are going to do for drafting and designing on the MTDOP plus the other languages, that is to learn how to produce correct work. You can't be learning and at the end you are not able to produce correct work. We need to be able to produce correct work. If you want somebody to manufacture an engine of a car, you must produce correct drawings. Otherwise, they can't make the engine without correct drawings. Everything that exists, all these, you need to produce drawings. And they must be correct drawings. Otherwise, they'll give you the wrong work. Okay? Then you need what? Proper layout. Proper layout of the work. Then it means you have sealed everything, nice and done properly. The layout, correctness, neatness, line work, border, title, and you have done all that. Then you have done it the perfect way. Anything else? Any question? So today I just wanted us, as we are going on with work, we are going to make sure that we apply all these perfect. Okay? So the next lesson we are going to do, we are going to look at, but I'll share the video as I add to the group again. How to read drawings. More especially when it comes to orthographic drawings, because these are mostly used. House plans is orthographic. Structural detailing is orthographic. Mechanical drawings is mostly orthographic. So you need to know how to read a drawing, how to interpret a drawing. Once we know orthographic and how to produce all these orthographic drawings, then we are good, because manufacturing is always depending on orthographic drawings. So that will be our next, how to read and interpret drawings. Yeah, all those, when it comes to building, but now we are talking, the language needs to be learned from the universal part. Okay. So we have got orthographic, which is the front view, top view, side view, yes. All those things. That is what we are going to do until we penetrate. Because that's where I've seen most of the people have challenged because they can't read the drawing. They can't read it. You need to be able to visualize, to see it in your mind before you produce it. But when most of the learners, they look at the drawings, they will look at it on the paper just the way it is. They can't visualize that it's an object. So that is our next lesson. Okay. So for now, you go to the computer lab for AutoCAD so that you get the introduction on AutoCAD. We need to make sure we flow. so that by the time the full class swing starts, you understand AutoCAD to the fullest. You understand how to read drawings to the fullest.
So when we say our next class, is it, are we going to go to that guy to show us?
You are
how to
going to
do
the
it?
computer lab now.
We come back here, or we?
No, when you're done there,
Done
you'll be
with-
given some work. That's it for today. It's done.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's bit by bit.
Like
Thank you.
I was still.